Okay, so continuing on with our discussion of settling with power, I don't think enough is made of the fact that what we really need to be concentrating on with settling with power is the avoidance of settling with power, trying to stay out of settling with power. I mean, avoid it like the plague. So what we really need to be concentrating on is the recognition of settling with power, so that you know that you're getting into settling with power, and so that you take action to get out of it. And if you've got plenty of altitude, it's like I say, it's easy enough just to get the nose down and get your forward airspeed up to get out of it. As you get into settling with power, so let's say that we've slowed down and we're starting a bit of a descent, and we've checked down a little bit on the collective. We're at 19 inches or 18 inches, enough to then once we slow down, we're going to get into a sag and get into settling with power. So what you'll notice is, as you slow down and you transition to airspeed of about 20 to 15 knots, you're going through ETL. You'll notice a vibration, but that vibration is very orderly. As you continue to slow down now to less than 10 knots or so in the onset of settling with power, that you're going to notice a significant amount of vibration, but that vibration is going to be very haphazard. It's not like going through ETL where it's nice and orderly and smooth, that sort of thing. When you get into settling with power, it's a very haphazard amount of vibration. You can get some yaw and some changes in attitude that occur that are very haphazard. And at that point, it's important that you recognize settling with power, that you get the nose down, and that you get out of it. Again, you have to have adequate amount of altitude to be able to recover. I used to have one of the examiners that came down, and I love him like a brother, but I'll tell on him here. He used to do check rides with us, and the students would do quite well on the check ride. And so after the check ride was over, they'd go out and he'd demonstrate a few things for the students. And one of the things they would demonstrate, he'd go on up a couple thousand feet and put the aircraft into settling with power and develop this just screaming ass rate out of the sky, and to show that you can still recover and all that thing. And I used to chat with him about that and tell him, like, don't do that. You're encouraging the students into getting way into settling with power. The problem is, if you get into settling with power, you need to fix it quickly. The longer that you wait to fix it, the bigger the decrease in the amount of lift produced by the rotor. All right. So how do you fix it? Well, whichever way you fix it, you're going to have to get the nose down to get out of it. Well, if you've got less lift to vector in the first place, it takes longer to make the recovery. So the longer that you wait to get forward on the stick to get some forward airspeed, the longer that the recovery is going to take. So you just got to be aware that as soon as you think you're getting into settling with power, get the nose down and get out of it. And again, we're going to talk more about the Vachard recovery technique if you're at quite a low level and get into settling with power. I had a student that we were flying an R-22 one day. They had about an 18 or 19 car pileup on Highway 60, which is a road that runs east-west here in southeast Missouri. And unfortunately, the winds were about 30 knots out of the south. Somebody accidentally set a field on fire. They were burning some trash or whatever, and set a field on fire. That produced a huge amount of smoke going directly across the highway. And as people would come into the smoke, they weren't slowing down, and they were just ramming into each other. And by the time we actually just happened to notice it, and we flew around the accident scene, there was about 18 or 19 cars. Shortly after we arrived, actually one of the EMS helicopters came in and landed. We were actually circling the accident scene, and the student that was flying it, I had my, of course, safety first. I had my phone out videoing it, to get some footage for KFES and one of the local local TV stations here. And I had my camera out videoing it. Well, as the student went from when we were in the into the wind going that way, life was good. As he's making the downwind turn, he's slowing down, kind of inadvertently slowing the aircraft down. And you could hear me on the video going, get your speed up, get your speed up, get your speed up. And he never really lowered the nose. So I finally dropped the camera down and pushed the stick forward to recover the airspeed. And as luck would have it, the camera was actually filming out the side of the aircraft. And you can see that we probably lost well over 100 feet of altitude, maybe 150 feet. Started at about 300, and to recover the aircraft to recover from settling with power. So, and again, in a minute we'll talk more about the Vachard technique for recovering from settling with power. But you know, it's if you got, as soon as you recognize it, you need to recover from it, because the longer you wait to make the recovery, the more significant the descent rate you're going to get into, the more significant the decrease in the amount of lift produced by the rotor, and the longer it takes to actually make the recovery. So again, our efforts ought to be in teaching people how to recognize it and then recover from it.